Once there was an old man with so many children he had all but run out of godparents to give them. When his 13th child was born, he decided that he would walk along the road until he found a fit godparent, whoever they may be, as long as they were just and fair. So he went out walking until he encountered a man who asked him where he was going. "To find my son a godparent," he said. "Would you serve?" "I would," said the stranger. "First, though, I would know who you are." "I am God himself," said the stranger. "Then I would not have you for my son's godfather," said the man at once. "For you treat the rich well, and the poor badly, and make some suffer however hard they work, while others thrive doing nothing good. You are neither just nor fair." So the man walked on until he encountered a woman who asked him where he was going. "To find my son a godparent," he said. "Would you serve?" "I would," said the stranger. "First, though, I would know who you are." "I am Death," said the stranger. "Good. Then I would have you for my son's godmother," said the man. "You treat rich and poor, high and low, all alike, taking any when their time comes, and you cannot be bought." So Death went with him and held the child as his godmother. "I have no money or material goods to give as a gift," she said to the father, "nor can I promise to safeguard him from me, for I must above all things be fair. But instead I offer him this. When the time comes for him to apprentice, send him to me, and I shall make him a doctor, such that he shall make all his needs met." Years passed, and when the boy had grown enough to apprentice to a craft, his parents sent him to his godmother's house. There he saw a great many candles within, some bright and others dim, some high and some low, and Death explained that these were the lights of life, and the dim and low ones were those who were soon to die. The youth saw there that his candle was yet long and high, and he was glad of it. Then Death set about instructing him to become a doctor, and her instruction was simpler than most would require. To her godson she would always make herself known, so if he entered the chamber of someone bedridden with illness and did not see her, or else saw her at the foot of the bed, he would know that the stricken one would recover, and could give them a simple tea or ale, or even colored water, and they would be cured. However, if he saw Death at the head of the bed, then nothing could be done, and he should proclaim it so. In time, when the young man was old enough to make his way in his profession, he went out into the world, and soon enough word of a young doctor who always knew immediately if his patients would live or die, and whose cures always caused the former to recover, spread across the land, and he made a good living. In time, however, the daughter of the king himself grew gravely ill, such that no physicians the king employed could seem to help her. At last the desperate king sent for the famous doctor, reasoning that despite his youth, perhaps the rumors about him were true, and in any case, it could not make matters any worse. When the young man came, the king made it known that he would richly reward him if he saved the princess's life, and that he might even welcome him as a son-in-law if it came to that. So the doctor said that he would see how matters were, and entering the princess's chambers, found her so beautiful even in illness that he at once resolved to save her life. It was then that he saw his godmother at the head of the bed, almost nodding off in her long wait for the princess's life. He could not bring himself to proclaim her lost, though, and after a moment devised a plan. He had some servants turn the princess's bed around, placing her so that Death was at her feet, and administered his cures. Soon the princess began to awaken, and her fever broke, and all in the castle were overjoyed at the doctor's miraculous success. All, that is, but one. As the young doctor left the castle, burdened already by the king's coin, he saw his godmother Death appear beside him. "That was a poor trick you played upon me," she said, and grasped him by the arm. "Now you must see the consequence." In an instant they stood within Death's house, with the many candles all around, and she pointed at the tall flame which the doctor knew as his, though it was not placed where it once was. "Behold," said Death, "the princess's life, as it stands now due to your actions." She then pointed at the place where once stood the doctor's candle, which now held only a pale, guttering flame in a pool of wax. "Behold," she said, "yours, as you have exchanged them." The doctor begged her to spare a little wax for his, or to exchange his for another's, to spare her godson, but Death shook her head. "I neither spare nor favor any whomever they may be," she said. One life was to be spent tonight, and spent it shall be. That it is yours and not hers is your own doing, for you tried to circumvent me." With that, the doctor's heart gave out, and he fell dead upon the floor. In the morning, his body was found outside the king's very gate, and he was much mourned.